you didn't catch that. When you're in the media and out of ideas, you resort to the smear. And when the smear of a leader doesn't provide you with that dopamine hit, you expand your attack to include anyone who supports the guy you want to hammer. Remember the deplorables, a word meant to describe 60 million people? Well, now we got a new one. Hey, everyone, those Trump supporters, they sure seem like a cult, don't they?
The word cult has been popping up more and more. Think back to 2 weeks ago on this program, Anthony Scaramucci talked about his claim that Trump supporters are in a cult. Just last week, Dan Rather said he thinks support for Trump seems increasingly cultish. And this weekend in the Washington Post, Trump critic and Republican strategist John Weaver said the GOP is not a party anymore in the traditional sense, it's a cult.
So nearly half the country is a cult. That's weird. We'll call it America. In that cult, people believe in free thinking, truth, and justice. It's their way. I mean, usually a cult is defined as a smaller, extreme group that demands allegiance and secrecy, kind of like CNN. But now to that network, it encompasses everyone who doesn't watch CNN, i.e. nearly all of America who must plug their ears at the airport bar to avoid Don Lemon's whining. But Trump's in good company. The cult smear is what political losers embrace when they can't explain to themselves why they're still losing. Many leaders have supporters who are passionate, but also feed off the relentless negativity of the press. I know I do. Need I remind you that over 90% of Trump's media coverage is hysterically against him? It's lockstep journalism, one that demands adherence. If it were only obvious.
It is almost like a dear leader situation. It's like a cult of personality.
Cultish devotion.
Part of the cult.
The destructive cult.
You say the president is using mind control.
Become a cult.
You yourself are in a cult.
That's a cult.
It is frightening to hear a cult expert say that you see all these signs right now, today, in American politics.
What's that sound like, Mr. Stelter, our non-Hare Krishna? Looks like your programming could use some deprogramming. A good one. Non-Hare Krishna.
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty funny. I give that to Dana. All right, so I'm gonna tell you that I have used this cheap shot before when I was describing the media under Obama, but I wasn't describing his supporters. I was surprised. How like there was an 8-year coma where nobody covered anything that Obama did scandal-wise. So that to me was a cult. But I wouldn't go after half the country who love him.
Especially if you want to win again.
Yes.
So do you remember after the 2016 election, there was a series of articles, lasted about 18 months, where reporters then went out on a journey to America
yes.
to try to understand all of these voters, especially the voters that had voted for Obama that then voted for Trump. And that, to me, that is about a cry for help, that we need change, we need something different. It's not about being what was it? What did Hillary Clinton call them?
Deplorable.
Deplorable, like a deplorable person. And actually, if you look at, a lot of the candidates aren't doing this now, and especially Mayor Pete. In all of his interviews, he's constantly saying, I get it, let's try to work together. He's trying to be that person that will bring people together, not push them apart like deplorables did.
Yeah, Juan, you could argue that the people that were talking about Obama supporters being cultish are missing his appeal and missing the reason why he won and all that stuff. And you could, I would say that it's the same here, that if you dismiss supporters as cultists, then you will always miss the reason why he won.
Yeah, if you were trying to diminish people and say, oh, you're just locked in. But I do think there's a reason they're saying this, Greg, and it's sort of hard politics, which is that I think it was Wall Street Journal, NBC, when they did polling and asked Republicans, are you more loyal to the Republican Party or to President Trump? The answer came back like more than 50% said my loyalty is to President Trump, and I think it's about 35% said my loyalty is to the Republican Party.
That makes sense.
And that's why you see a lot of the top Republicans on Capitol Hill say we can't challenge Donald Trump because Trump controls the party.
I think you're right.
He's bigger than the party. So that's, I mean, so you can say, oh, well, you know, they're saying they're all zombies. But no, I think there's something else. And so, you know, it's like with Trump, either you're 100% behind Trump or you're 0%.
Well,
now, so I would say to you, you know, like, tell me 3 things anybody around here disagrees with Trump on.
Oh,
I would
God.
strongly
She's
disagree
vaping.
with that. Trump's a terrible cult leader. He's getting rebuked by Republicans all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Syria,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Kurds, tariff, Twitter,
No.
his rhetoric,
Taliban.
China, immigration,
Yeah, yeah.
healthcare.
Oh,
I mean, this guy gets killed by his own party constantly. The
I don't see
RNC
it.
wanted nothing to do with him
RNC?
before the election.
Are you
He had
kidding me?
McCain,
You
he had
must be
Romney.
kidding.
Justin
No, no, no.
Amash switched parties.
talking
People
about-
are retiring left and right. To say that this guy has some sort of
Let me
lockstep
just tell
on the
you.
Republican
Here's
Party
my view.
misses the entire
Oh, no.
reality
I
of the
just
last
sat
3
through,
years.
Last week, I sat through those impeachment hearings. Here's what Republicans said. Oh, you know the whistleblower? False. That's just false. What about
Okay.
impeachment? It's an illegal coup.
Juan,
it's not impeachment. It's an
Juan,
illegal coup.
the fact is,
How about
the CNN
let me finish.
Still
Okay,
talking
what
about
about-
impeachment.
fine,
That's
what about-
over.
Oh, no, I'm
it's
just saying,
dead.
this is what, even
Okay.
on Sunday,
Okay.
Senator Kennedy of Louisiana said, oh, yeah, we don't know if Russia, the Ukraine invaded.
You know what destroys that argument, Juan? That it was independents that bailed on the impeachment garbage.
No, that's another
They were
thing.
the ones that. Oh, so
Emily?
so independents are in a cult now?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
You know
Emily?
what Trump says? Trump says the polls have
All right.
turned against impeachment.
Okay.
The polls have not.
Yes.
Yes, they have.
The
Juan,
world-
and that's why
All right, so-
Democrats in the House
You
and
go look
Senate
at
are
the
getting
numbers.
cold feet.
All right.
Go look at the numbers.
I did.
Emily,
Hello.
as a Raider, you have an experience in a cult being a fan of the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders fans are heavily behind their team.
Yeah.
Do you see the Trump supporter as a cult? To Juan's point, though, why not be loyal to the person who does a better job? Like, if you think that Trump is doing a better job and not the Republican Party.
Yeah, but you have to be loyal. You're loyal to people, not to a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've been
mean,
loyal to things.
I was told that I was in a cult because I was in a sorority in college. Like it's always
that's true.
It's always something.
Well, you
I
did
do
slaughter that goat.
Think, I do think
It was
that-
a sacrifice, Greg.
Okay.
And he was young.
Oh my gosh. But it's so simple to alienate people. And I think what I don't understand is the continued failure to grasp how that elitist name-calling, talking down, patronizing mentality is exactly the reason why people who support Trump feel heard by him and why they continue to support him and why they continue to feel disconnected from these talking heads and the mainstream media and the people that are controlling the Democratic Party. It's so simple. I don't understand why it continues to fly by the eyes of everyone in charge.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good way to end this segment, don't you think?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.